Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
It's October 1st. Welcome to the News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Belly Squatter, and thanks for joining us today. Now the news making the headlines. ACF salutes Nigeria at 60. Felicien Kabuga, French court backs extradition of Rwanda genocide suspect. U.S. election. Rules on debates to change after Trump-Biden spat. Fitch revises Nigeria's outlook to stable. And on sports, Serena withdraws from French Open. Stay with us as the details of the news come after the break. Welcome back. And now the details of the news. ACF salutes Nigeria at 60. The Arewa Consultative Forum felicitates with President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian people on the 60th anniversary of Nigeria as an independent nation. The ACF, in a message from Mr. Emmanuel Yahweh, the National Publicity Secretary, noted that given the resources, both material and human, Nigeria should have achieved greater heights. He said they are, as a nation, blessed with unlimited resources from God, and the greatest ongoing is poor, visionless leadership, which has failed to take advantage of these God-given gifts to build a viral, progressive nation, they said. ACF added that the country has seen independence being mired in short-sighted, mind-boggling corruption that has shocked her citizens and the world, saying Nigerian leaders have consistently remained mediocre, refusing to build even to the modest achievements of the First Republic leaders. As Nigeria turns 60, the ACF advises her leaders and elites to turn a new leaf and avoid the pitfalls of the past that have hindered the march to progress, unity, and prosperity. He said they must strive to shake off the image of marvelous scammers that is conjured up in the minds of many whenever it is announced that a Nigerian is around all over the world, they said. As we celebrate Nigeria at 60, let's hear what the people out there are saying.
Nigeria will be 60, and practically I don't think there's anything really worth celebrating aside from the fact that we are alive. Someone that is 60 years of age that cannot really point to what he or she has achieved as a person, that person is practically a loser. I'm not calling Nigeria a loser. I believe we can get better if our government can come together and do the right.
It is compulsory for us to celebrate, but what are we celebrating on? When a 60 years old somebody cannot differentiate between the left and right. We cannot say we are independent on our own. In terms of infrastructures, look at Nigerian roads. Still, the political dispensation to me is nothing to write home off. In the sense that the politicians, they are the same. If he comes today, he will say he's going to perform more than B and C. Let him be there. So when it is time for them also, they also will also do the same thing. And you can see that the movement of the politicians is the same. People who are in A party today, when they see that they will have B party tomorrow, they would like to come to that B party in order to do this thing. So we don't have fresh of it. So for me, there's nothing we are celebrating.
Instead of celebrating the independence, I believe there is that tendency for us to come together and protest, to tell our leader, tell the message that the way they are really knows, that is not the way it's supposed to be. So for me, I don't feel like celebrating. Though the president said the Independence Day celebration will be in a low key. So since it will be in a low key, I will advise Nigerians to come out and tell everybody, tell the leaders, the politicians that what they are doing to us, the way they are treating us, that is not how it's supposed to be. That is not the democracy that our forefathers they fought for us.
Nigerians need to celebrate.
All right.
For instance, a man that, marking his birthday, are you hearing me now? Love to celebrate, need to celebrate. But the situation, in other words, as you said, of the country, that as we've seen, the crisis in economics, can make people say, no need for celebration, let us look forward to see what we can do. But all along, normally, we're supposed to celebrate.
We are 60 years old. We've achieved absolutely nothing. So we should not be celebrating. Celebrating what? Celebrating poverty. Celebrating corruption. So we should hide ourselves in shame. We should be protesting and not celebrating 60 years. We are still crawling.
It's better for me to stay in my house, and instead of to go and protest or go and celebrate and get injury. Understand? So I prefer to stay in my house.
So you are not bothered about the situation?
I'm not bothered. I'm bothered about my life, my family.
But the country is affecting your life one way or the other.
It's affecting my life, but I've been managing it for a very long time. So I'll keep managing it.
There is no protest in Nigeria that does not take at least one person's life. Nigerian police.
And now moving forward on the electronic poll, INEC invites 40 companies for presentation. Over 40 companies have indicated interest and have been invited for a live presentation for a virtual or practical demonstration of electronic voting machines that will be used for the Ondo State governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission has said. The Commission also stressed that so far 8 companies have made presentations through a combination of physical and virtual means before an audience of its members and a team of directors and ICT staff. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, stated this in a statement issued in Abuja on Wednesday. The announcement of the figure came as the Electoral Commissioner in Akure South Local Government area of Ondo State, Athuke Eguterai, informed that 207,238 permanent voters' cards have been collected ahead of the election scheduled for October 10. Okoye said, so far 8 companies have made presentations through a combination of physical and virtual means before an audience of commission members, a team of directors and ICT staff. And each company had 30 minutes for its presentations, while the question and answer session was also allocated 30 minutes. And moving forward in another development, Otum queries benefits of rail lines to Niger Republic. Benue State Governor Samuel Otum on Wednesday frowned on federal government's plan to construct rail line from Kano to Niger Republic and queried the economic benefits of such gigantic project to Nigerians. He therefore called on the National Assembly to prevail on President Muhammadu Buhari to put aside the project, which was expected to cost $1.9 billion. Otum stated this during the inauguration of the groundbreaking of Benue State's Geographic Information Service in Makurdi. Otum he questioned what was the economic benefit of a rail line from Nigeria to Niger, and why do people have to take $1.9 billion to make a rail line to Niger. He, however, charged the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Water Resources, Sada Soli, to work with other colleagues and advise the federal government not to take money to execute railway project to Niger Republic. Some of the policies of the federal government have made some of them to be suspicious. He said they have seen cattle colony, ruga, and open grazing camouflage coming into play. And now coming from around Africa, Félicien Kabuga, French court backs extradition of Rwanda genocide suspect. France's top appeal court has agreed to extradite the alleged financier of the Rwanda genocide, Félicien Kabuga, to face trial in Tanzania. Mr. Kabuga, in his 80s, was arrested in May at his home outside Paris after 26 years on the run. Some 800,000 people were killed in the 1994 genocide. Mr. Kabuga is alleged to have funneled money to militia groups and chairman of the National Defense Fund. He denied all the charges, and during a court appearance in May, he described the accusations as lies. His lawyer had argued that he was too frail to be sent to face trials in the UN tribunal in the Tanzanian town of Arusha. Mr. Kabuga's lawyer argued that their clients should not be transferred to Tanzania for health reasons, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. They also said the appeal court has violated the Constitution by failing to provide a thorough examination of international arrest warrants. But these arguments were dismissed by the court's the extradition ruling upheld, won by a lower court on the 3rd of June, that Mr. Kabuga's health was not incompatible with the transfer to a UN tribunal. According to the court, Mr. Kabuga is really 85, but he says he is 87. And still news from around Africa, precisely in South Africa now, where South Africa opens borders to African countries. South Africa has opened its borders to travelers from all African countries, but has retained restrictions against countries with higher coronavirus infections rates, including the UK, the US, and Russia. The country closed its border in March to limit the spread of the virus. It will, from Thursday, that's today, reopen some land borders and its three main airports in Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg. The foreign minister, Naledi Pandor, said all arriving travelers must have tested negative for COVID-19 from their countries and will be screened on arrival. Travelers from countries whose infections and death rates are higher than South Africa will not be allowed into the country for leisure. Only citizens who are investors, diplomats, high-skilled visa holders, and business people that's coming from the high-risk countries will be allowed, Mrs. Pandor told journalists on Wednesday. And also travelers who exhibit coronavirus symptoms or test positive will incur all the medical expenses. South Africa has been the worst hit country by the pandemic in Africa. It has so far confirmed 674,000 cases, about half of the number reported in Africa. We're going to a short break right now. When we come back, we get news updates from the United States of America. Stay with us.
has come for the gathering of sons to get recharged and revitalized.
The church that cannot be despised is a church of testimonies.
An outburst of revival.
Shagada. There's a revival! Let's take it.
International Ministers Conference October edition.
Testimonies are the trademark of God's mandate.
Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman, 28th through 30th October 2020. Ministers without blemish. Time 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. GMT+1. Happening live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132 Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call Ministers without blemish. Prepare for your next level.
Invigorating presence of grace, a people passionate for the kingdom. Get ready for an unforgettable moment that births dreams. International Youth Conference 2020, Pleasing God, from the 6th to the 8th October 2020, 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132 Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. Ministering Pastor Austin Igbinosa.
Nothing brings reduction like seduction. Sir, if they can seduce you, they can reduce you.
Reverend Fidelis Ayemuba.
How will you feel to know that you lost your virginity for Nokia 3310? And then today, 3310 is like Ichabod. The glory has departed.
Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. For inquiries, please call. It's time to please God.
Welcome back. News from the United States of America. U.S. election rules on debate to change after Trump-Biden spat. The commission that oversees U.S. presidential debate says it will change the format to ensure the remaining two encounters between Donald Trump and Joe Biden are more orderly. One new measure could be to cut the microphones if the candidate tries to interrupt each other, U.S. media report. The announcement followed Tuesday's ill-tempered debate that descended into squabbling, bickering, and insults. President Trump's team has already criticized the commission's plans. The tones and tactics of the first presidential debate were criticized across the U.S. and around the world. The fallout, however, has also been dominated by remarks Mr. Trump made about a far-right group called the Proud Boys. On Wednesday, he sought to clarify his comments, but his critics maintained that he said he refused to condemn white supremacists. And now more updates from around Europe, where Armenia and Azerbaijan conflicts. Russia orders to host Nagorno-Karabakh peace talks. Russia has offered to host talks on ending the fighting over the future of the decade-long disputes region of Nagorno-Karabakh. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made the offer to the governments of the two countries claiming the area, Azerbaijan and Armenia. His office said he had urged a halt to warlike rhetoric. More than 100 people have died since Sunday, the worst flare-up in years. Officially part of Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh is run by ethnic Armenians. And Armenians and Azerbaijan, two former Soviet republics, fought a war in 1988 to 1994 over the region. There are growing fears that international powers could be dragged into the conflict. And on Wednesday, Mr. Lavrov's office said he had called the foreign ministers of both Armenia and Azerbaijan to say Russia was willing to host talks. Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed the fighting with French President Emmanuel Macron in a separate telephone call. Both leaders reiterated calls by world powers for an immediate ceasefire. Russia is part of a military alliance with Armenia and has military base in the country. However, it also has close ties to the government of Azerbaijan. Armenia backs the self-declared Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh, but has never officially recognized it. And now moving forward to business news, Fitch revises Nigeria's outlook to stable. Fitch Ratings has revised the outlook on Nigeria's long-term foreign currency issued default rating to stable from negative and affirmed the IDR at B. The international rating firm disclosed this in its report on Wednesday entitled Fitch Revises Nigeria's Outlook to Stable, affirms at B. The revision of the outlook reflected a decrease in the level of uncertainty surrounding the impact of the global pandemic shock on Nigeria's economy, it said. Part of the report reads, oil prices have stabilized, global funding conditions have eased, and domestic restrictions on movement have started to be relaxed. It said a 6% depreciation in March of the investor and exporter exchange rate at which most foreign currency transactions were carried out fell short of full correcting the Naira's appreciation by about 35% in real terms between mid-2016 and February 2020. Fitch report said steep real appreciation has been driven by persistent double-digit inflation, which has offset gains from the devaluation in 2016 and 2017. It added that the CBN has achieved progress towards its stated goal of unifying the exchange rate following a cumulative 19% two-step devaluation of the official exchange rate, which was mostly used for the government's and the oil sector's FC transactions. And more updates from the world of business. Stock investors gain 110 billion naira and market cap hits 14 trillion naira. The market capitalization of the Nigerian equities market rose to 14 trillion naira on Wednesday for the first time since March 2020, amidst a sharp drop in the fixed income yields following further monetary easing by the Monetary Policy Committee. The key market performance indicators, Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index appreciated by 0.85%. The market breadth closed positive with 20 gainers against 8 losers. The ASI grew by 225.46 basis points from 26,611 basis points on Tuesday to 26,837, while the market capitalization of equities appreciated by 110 billion naira to close at 14.02 trillion naira from 13.91 trillion naira. On the activity chart, the premium subsector dominated in volume with 129.23 million shares exchanged in 1,713 deals. The subsector was enhanced by trading activities on the shares of Zenith Bank PLC and Access Bank PLC. The banking subsector was boosted by the trading activities on the shares of Fidelity Bank PLC and Sterling Bank PLC with 116.68 million units traded in 671 deals. And in all, investors exchanged a total of 322.77 million shares traded in 4,046 deals. A further analysis of the day's trading showed that Total Nigeria PLC led the gainers chart with 20% to close at 96.8 naira per share. We'll take another short break right now. When we come back, we get news from the world of sports. Stay with us.
Has come for the gathering of sons to get recharged and revitalized.
The church that cannot be despised is a church of testimonies.
An outburst of revival.
Shagada. There's a revival! Let's take it.
International Ministers Conference October edition.
Testimonies are the trademark of God's mandate.
Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman, 28th through 30th October 2020. Ministers without blemish. Time 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. GMT+1. Happening live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call Ministers without blemish. Prepare for your next level.
Welcome back. Now straight up to sports news. Serena withdraws from French Open. Three-time champion Serena Williams has withdrawn from the French Open because of an ankle injury. The 39-year-old has been scheduled to play her second-round match against Bulgaria's Tsvetana Pironkova on Wednesday. The American has won 23 Grand Slam single titles and was aiming to equal Margaret Court's all-time record of 24. Williams picked up the ankle problem during her US Open semi-finals defeat by Victoria Azarenka earlier this month. And on Monday, she beat her fellow Americans Kitty Ann 7-6, 7-2, and 6-0 in the first round at Roland Garros, but said she was struggling physically. Williams won the French Open in 2002, 2013 and 2015 and is currently ranked 9th in the world. And in another sports news, and finally on the news desk, Adeshanya eyes third fight in 2020 after Costa win. UFC star Israel Adeshanya says he is keen on fighting again this year following his victory against Paulo Costa at the weekend. The 31-year-old silenced his critics with a comprehensive win over the Brazilian, who was undefeated before the bout. The win stretched his MMA pro record to 20 victories to no loss. Following his dominant second-round win, Adesanya says he is still fresh for another fight but admits his foot still hurts. In a year overshadowed by cancelled events due to the coronavirus crisis, Adesanya has fought twice, the first being the win over Yoel Romero at the UFC 248. And that's the size of the news for us today on Celebration Television News Desk. If you're just joining us, here is a recap of the news making the headlines. ACF salutes Nigeria at 60. Felicien Kabuga, French court backs extradition of Rwandan genocide suspect. U.S. elections rule on debates to change after Trump and Biden spat. French revises Nigeria's outlook too stable. And Serena withdraws from French Open. And today on the photo of the day, it says there is no country in the world with the diversity, confidence and talent and black pride like Nigeria. You know, today is Independence Day in Nigeria, so every Nigerian must have his head up high and tell his or herself what he or she is doing to make the country a better place. Share your thoughts with us. Talk to us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are My Celebration TV. On Twitter, we are at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, it is Celebration TV. And never you forget that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place and for us and the generations to come. So do well to play your part and do it with all diligence. I am Belly Squatter. Thanks for watching the news on Celebration Television News Desk. Once again, happy independence.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu